Post-training notice. National First-Class Registered Exorcist. Extra Chapter. The Dragon of the Tides, Part 2. Chi Wei snapped his fingers and had the waiter come and take their order. Zhi Xiaoduo was a bit awkward at first, but Han Ro was very cute. Especially since she was a preschool teacher, she treated everyone like kids, with great love and patience. Just like when everyone met the parents, as they talked, the conversation began to turn into a critique of Chi Wei. Yes, Zhi Xiaoduo said, and he's also running around everywhere, it's too dangerous. You are not allowed to go to dangerous places again in the future, Han Ro said to Chi Wei, if you're going, you must also take me with you. Zhi Xiaoduo stole a glance at Chi Wei, who was smiling happily beside him. Did you hear me? Han Ro sounded like she was lecturing a child again. Okay, Chi Wei said with a serious expression. The three of them couldn't help but laugh. You also have another good bro called Xiang Cheng, right? Han Ro said, Chi Wei often mentions him. With that, Zhi Xiaoduo began to tell embarrassing stories about Xiang Cheng. Han Ro couldn't help but grow curious about Zhi Xiaoduo's job and asked, do you guys also often travel around everywhere? I work in architecture, Zhi Xiaoduo said. I often go on business trips to various parts of the country. Han Ro nodded in understanding and said, the more you see, the more knowledge you gain. I've never been out of Guangdong. Do you have any interesting insights? Zhi Xiaoduo then asked, there are many strange things that happen. Do you believe there are Yaoguai in this world? Han Ro. The conversation had shifted so quickly that Chi Wei was stunned. After regaining his composure, he tapped Zhi Xiaoduo with his foot under the table, signaling him not to speak recklessly. Zhi Xiaoduo used his gaze to indicate that it was okay. I do believe. Han Ro thought for a moment and said, actually, I encountered strange things when I was a child. Really? Zhi Xiaoduo curiously asked, like what? Sleep paralysis demons. Han Ro laughed and said. Zhi Xiaoduo. Chi Wei. Chi Wei held his forehead with one hand, speechless. Zhi Xiaoduo and Han Ro talked about Yaoguai for a while. Han Ro told Zhi Xiaoduo that children often had stories about Yaoguai, so perhaps Yaoguai existed in the hearts of every child who had not yet grown up. Look at him, Han Ro said. He often draws Yaoguai, she said while poking Chi Wei with her elbow. Chi Wei propped his elbows on the table and put his hands together in front of his nose. The corners of his mouth curled up with a hint of a smile, and he occasionally glanced at Han Ro. Because he can't grow up, Zhi Xiaoduo said. All of us are just big kids, ha ha ha. Sometimes, Zhi Xiaoduo felt that this was indeed the case. Exorcists felt relatively simple, not in terms of worldly sophistication but in terms of holding on to a steadfast belief. Being with Chi Wei, Xian Hezi, and others was like being a middle schooler playing with a group of high schoolers. After dinner, Chi Wei and Zhi Xiaoduo took Han Ro home. Chi Wei wanted to call someone to drive a car over, but Zhi Xiaoduo wanted to take Lang Dog for a walk, so they walked slowly along the river. Why did you ask her about Yaoguai? Chi Wei asked Zhi Xiaoduo in Cantonese. When Xiang Cheng was there, he was very annoyed when Chi Wei and Zhi Xiaoduo spoke in Cantonese, because he couldn't understand. He always felt that Chi Wei and Zhi Xiaoduo trying to keep something from him, so only when Xiang Cheng was away would they talk in Cantonese. Because I remember one time, Zhi Xiaoduo said, I got very scared by Xiang Cheng's stuff, and although I had seen it before, I had forgotten all about it after smelling the Lihun pollen. Later, when I saw the videos in my iCloud, it was the first time I officially accepted that there were Yaoguai in the world. That scared me so much that I almost called the police, Zhi Xiaoduo said. It's better to be mentally prepared and inquire a bit. Otherwise, if one day she suddenly finds out that there's a Yaoguai hidden in your drawers, any explanation will be useless. Chi Wei laughed and said, Would it go that far? Qi Wei placed one hand on Qi Xiaoduo's shoulder, and the two of them led Lang Dog back. Right, Qi Wei, Xi Xiaoduo thought for a moment and then asked, with regards to you liking Han Ro, does your family have any objections? Call her sister-in-law, Qi Wei replied. Even if they have any objections, what of it? I'm not living for their sake. Xi Xiaoduo received a response that he expected. Qi Wei was just that kind of person. You're actually quite stubborn, Xi Xiaoduo smiled. I'm a Taurus Ma, Qi Wei said. My third and fourth uncles were both opposed to me interacting with Xiang Cheng. From the beginning, I thought this was not right. This was something my father owed Uncle Xiang before he passed away. Xi Xiaoduo nodded and said, yes. You don't have to worry about me and her not having a common language, Qi Wei said. No, Xi Xiaoduo hurriedly said, I'm not actually worried about that. Differences in social class, views on money and values and worldviews of both sides were concepts that Xi Xiaoduo knew that Qi Wei must have been bombarded with every day, to the point that he must be deaf to it all. In Chen Zhen's family, his father was from an old and well-known family, while his mother was a skilled researcher of magic weapons. But in the south, due to the economic reform policies, these ideas were much weaker. What does teacher De Schumann's husband do? Xi Xiaoduo asked. He's a professor of history at Sun Yat-sen University, Qi Wei replied. Xiaoduo, I want to tell you something. What? Xi Xiaoduo asked. Qi Wei and Xi Xiaoduo stood side by the river, leaning against the railing and looking out. I'm planning on not being an exorcist anymore, Qi Wei said to Qi Xiaoduo. Qi Xiaoduo. Is that so? Xi Xiaoduo turned to look at Qi Wei. Qi Wei's expression was calm as he looked out at the river. What Qi Wei had said to him was, I want to tell you something, instead of I want to discuss something with you. Don't tell your family beforehand, Xi Xiaoduo said. But, if you cancel your license, according to the regulations of the Exorcist Committee, they will erase all your memories. That's why I have to ask something of you, Qi Wei said. After my memories are erased, can you come back to me and make me remember it all again? Qi Xiaoduo. Qi Wei replied, ever since you separated from Xiang Cheng and returned to Guangzhou, I have been thinking about this possibility this whole time. Qi Xiaoduo, why? To be free, Qi Wei said. Xi Xiaoduo replied, but even if you continue to be an exorcist, you would still be free. That's not being free, Qi Wei replied. What I mean by being free is giving me the right to choose whether to do it or not. I want to be an exorcist outside of the system and do whatever I want, like you guys. You can also do that now, Xi Xiaoduo said. Xiang Cheng and I are also within the system. That's different, Qi Wei said. Teacher De Schumann will always need an heir. You know about the conflict between local teams and the central organization. But you may not be very clear about this. Xiang Cheng understands it a bit better. Xi Xiaoduo said, I just thought this would only happen in a secular society. It has always been this way, Qi Wei explained. My family hopes that I can take over teacher De Schumann's position in the future. They hope that with me there, the local old clans and the Exorcist Committee can once again integrate. Teacher De Schumann has also agreed with this. I don't quite understand these things, Xi Xiaoduo said, but this isn't very good. The Exorcist Committee will change from being in the hands of Teacher D into having the Qi family be in charge of it. Teacher D has considered that as well, I imagine, Qi Wei said. I started working as an exorcist when I was 14, after graduating from junior high school. For 20 years now, orders from up top were often not carried out. After the orders of the Central Exorcist Committee are passed down to Guangdong, acting on them has often been difficult. So that's why you joined the Special Operation Team. Xi Xiaoduo vaguely understood. Qi Wei didn't say anything, instead he looked out at the brightly lit Pearl River. The night boats slowly floated across the river's surface and sounded their sirens. Have you ever cohabited with Hanro before? Zhi Xiaoduos asked, just in case you find that you're not compatible after getting married. Qi Wei replied, no, in that regard, physically, I should be fine. Zhi Xiaoduo didn't know whether to cry or laugh. As long as you like her, that's fine. Actually, I support you, it's just, From an emotional perspective, Zhi Xiaoduo finally said, I fully support you. I wish you happiness, Kikai, but from a rational perspective, you may have to overcome many difficulties. N. Qi Wei said, think up a plan, then tell me the whole thing. Zhi Xiaoduo thought to himself, this is a violation of the rules. In theory, whoever the Exorcist committee erases their memories of is not allowed to come into contact with the world of Yao, devil, and ghosts anymore. I'm afraid that there will be many troubles in the future. After Zhi Xiaoduo returned, his bestie came. Because it was close to the new year, her family wanted to force her to get married. They wanted an engagement before the new year, so she had quarreled fiercely with them and left home. Don't you like Kai Kai? Zhi Xiaoduo was in the living room, both of them kneading lang dog with their feet as they warmed themselves by the fire while drinking milk tea. Just because I like him doesn't mean we can just get married. His bestie said, what if we're not compatible in the future? I haven't inspected the goods yet, and if later, I make a mistake, won't I cry myself to death? Zhi Xiaoduo said, as long as you like him, that's good law, it doesn't matter who the other person is. Look at Xiang Cheng, I didn't know he was this kind of a person at all. Previously, when Zhi Xiaoduo said this, his best friend might have argued back, but now, Zhi Xiaoduo lived in a large villa worth tens of millions of yuan, and when he went out, he drove an extra long hunky. Chen Zhen had gifted them Zheng Qin's car. As soon as he said hey, someone would come to pour water and make tea, and when he went out, there was a group of well-dressed, beast-like bodyguards. His best friend was completely unable to refute Zhi Xiaoduo's point. After Zhi Xiaoduo returned, he was pinched by his best friend until he had bruises all over his arm, and had to in the end make up a story to deceive her. It went roughly like this: Xiang Cheng was actually a super rich man, but due to competition for his inheritance, he was framed by his enemies and finally lost his memory. After escaping assassination attempts and wandering around, he had to find a way to make a living, so he became a duck, only to then fall in love with Zhi Xiaoduo. During the period when Zhi Xiaoduo disappeared, he was helping Xiang Cheng retrieve his memory. At first, his bestie had an expression of "do you think I'm an idiot" on her face. Finally, after repeatedly questioning the amnesiac duck Xiang Cheng, she received a 200,000 yuan red envelope from him as Zhi Xiaoduo's dowry. It was only then that she believed it, and she couldn't help but marvel at the vastness of the world and how miracles were real. Zhi Xiaoduo often thought that this didn't even count as the weirdest thing. If you knew about stuff like Akalanatha or Mara, that would really be "do you think I'm an idiot" moment. I told them that my Gur isn't even married yet, his bestie said. If they want me to get married, they'd have to wait for him to get married first. Did you know what they said though? Qi Wei already broke off his engagement. Oh, Zhi Xiaoduo answered while extracting for more information. Broke off his engagement? Bestie said, the fiancé they had arranged for him 2 years ago, he broke off the engagement just like that. Okay. N. Zhi Xiaoduo was thinking, how do you counteract the effects of Lihun pollen? Back then, Beethoven's Sonata Pathetic was used to seal his memories, and the music of the third movement of Sonata Pathetic was used to awaken him. If Qi Wei decided to cancel his license, would they also use this musical method to seal his memories? He texted Chen Lang and asked him to help investigate this matter, while absent-mindedly chatting with his best friend. Did you already know? Bestie asked Zhi Xiaoduo suspiciously. Yeah, Zhi Xiaoduo said. I know his partner's name is Hanro. What? Bestie stepped on Lang Dog's head and knocked it down. Lang Dog. Ji Xiaoduo put away his book and said seriously, Big Head Carp, don't you want your gur to be happy? His best friend was stunned, and Ji Xiaoduo said, aren't you the one who understands him the most? Ji Xiaoduo roughly described Hanro, and his best friend said, how did you know? You and my gur have been quite close recently. Ji Xiaoduo thought for a moment and said, it's just that it's easy for the two of us to talk to one another. His best friend kept feeling that there were many vaguely suspicious points about Ji Xiaoduo, and she hadn't thought it through yet as she said, I don't like either of my sister-in-laws. I would rather you and my gur pair up. That's impossible, La, Ji Xiaoduo said. How about we go see her? No need to say anything about her, his best friend replied impatiently, won't it be like always, she likes that he's handsome, tall, rich, has a 18 centimeters dick, is good-tempered. Nope, Ji Xiaoduo said. She thinks he's an ordinary physical education teacher. There's nothing good about a physical education teacher. His best friend casually attacked an entire profession and said, let me tell you, I read a book last time. Ji Xiaoduo said seriously, let me ask you, if he gets married, will you bless his marriage? Of course his best friend said, no matter who he marries, man or woman, or even if he marries your dog, I wouldn't say anything. Lang Dog. Ji Xiaoduo. His best friend said, but if he ends that engagement, won't his third uncle kill him? His best friend and Qi Wei had both been raised by their maternal grandmother since they were small. Ji Xiaoduo had heard that Qi Wei did not return to his father's family until he graduated from junior high school. Therefore, his best friend and Qi Wei were like siblings, and their relationship was very good. That's good, Ji Xiaoduo said. He's received one blessing now. His best friend replied, it's still better to listen to his uncle's arrangements. When I get a chance, I'll persuade him to go. No need, Ji Xiaoduo said, he just wants you to support him and lend him some strength. After thinking about it, the two of them felt that Qi Wei was also in a quite painful situation. They talked late into the night, until Xiang Cheng returned. Bestie. Ji Xiaoduo. Xiang Cheng. Xiang Cheng was dressed in an ink-black royal robe, standing in the entrance hall with an imperial crown complete with dangling beads on his head. The robe was embroidered with auspicious clouds and azure dragons, and he was also wearing a pair of high boots and had a bronze sword at his waist. He spread his arms to show Ji Xiaoduo. So handsome. Ji Xiaoduo said. Your Majesty, Bestie understood the situation and stood up, saying, this slave gives you my regards. Your Majesty, Ji Xiaoduo immediately stood up and said, this concubine gives you his regards. The two of them held the sofa runner and tossed them behind their backs, bowing to Xiang Cheng. No need to stand on ceremony, Xiang Cheng said. What the hell is this? Ji Xiaoduo and his best friend roared at the same time. It's a costume for artistic performances, Xiang Cheng said. Bestie gave up. The billionaire boss had nothing to do every day and just messed around with these things. The bodyguards came over and bowed to the great king one after another. Xiang Cheng waved his hand and signaled everyone to do their own thing and not mind him. After a moment, he rolled up the sleeves of his robe and asked, have you had a midnight snack? No, Ji Xiaoduo shook his head in unison with his bestie. Bestie had come over specifically to mooch off a meal cooked by Xiang Cheng, and now he had finally arrived. So, Xiang Cheng, dressed in a royal robe, went to wash his hands and crack open crabs. He cooked crab roe wontons for the two of them. After eating, Bestie went upstairs to bed and Ji Xiaoduo asked, is it really for a literary performance? It's for the crowning ceremony. Xiang Cheng said, Feng Li insisted on a crowning so that he can issue the Yao King's orders better. In the new year, he plans to send a decree to notify all the scattered Yao, so this makes things easier to explain. Zhi Ziaduo nodded, and Xiang Cheng asked, "Does it look good?" "The Ghost King made it for me in the style of Qin Shi Huang." "It looks good," Zhi Ziaduo said, the corner of his mouth twitching. "It's just a bit over the top." Xiang Cheng lifted the bead curtain in front of the imperial crown and leaned over to kiss Zhi Ziaduo. "What's up?" Zhi Ziaduo asked. "N." Xiang Cheng was a bit absent-minded. He snapped his fingers and asked someone to bring over a report for Zhi Ziaduo to see. The two discussed things briefly. The report was about the analysis of the Southern Pacific black magic practitioner. Zhi Ziaduo also talked about Qi Wei's matter, which made Xiang Cheng contemplative. "Does Chen Zhen know?" Xiang Cheng asked. "Probably not, but," Zhi Ziaduo said. "Currently, it's just an idea in Qi Wei's head. The responsibilities he carries are too heavy," Xiang Cheng said. "No matter how heavy they are, there cannot be as heavy as yours," Zhi Ziaduo casually said. "I meant that before. Chen Zhen, you are all the same. Everyone has a duty to their families they need to fulfill. But I have you, after all," Xiang Cheng replied. Xiang Cheng understood Qi Wei's feelings very well, and the two of them discussed things and came to the conclusion that as long as Qi Wei liked her, then they would just go along with his plan. Chen Lang also sent a text message saying that if an exorcist withdrew their registration, all the methods used to erase their memory would use the same musical sealing method. That was because Lihan pollen had certain side effects on the human body, and it only targeted specific memories. For example, if a person saw a yaoguai, they would repeatedly think about this yaoguai in a short period of time. At this time, using Lihan pollen was acceptable. But if they wanted to erase all of the memories of an exorcist, from childhood to adulthood, a few decades worth, using Lihan pollen was not enough. So, Zhou Mokuo had improvised this new method of musical memory sealing. "That's great," Zhi Ziaduo said. "Then I have a plan. It's best to talk things over with Chen Zhen," Xiang Cheng said. "Let them come to Guangzhou to play on the 5th day of the New Year Ba." Zhi Ziaduo thought about it and agreed. With such a big matter, they couldn't hide it from Chen Zhen. As for whether Chen Zhen would agree, that depended on Qi Wei's abilities. On the 5th day of the year, Huang Xian rented a small outdoor sports hall in Guangzhou, with a large red cloth hanging on it. Chen Zhen, Chen Lang, and Kita all came. Chao Ben remained the director of the field service department, while Xian Hezi had been promoted to the deputy director of the United Front Work Department office. Chen Zhen, on behalf of the Exorcist Committee, personally attended Xiang Cheng's crowning ceremony. The venue was tightly packed and a red cloth was hung on the already built stage. It read the Chinese Yao King crowning ceremony and the first Yaoguai Sacred Land Spring Festival Gala. Zhi Ziaduo. It was originally supposed to be held in the Sacred Land, Xiang Cheng said. But the Sacred Land is being renovated and it's not very convenient. Everyone please excuse that. Everyone came over to shake hands with Xiang Cheng. Where's Kita? Chen Zhen looked around. Kita is outside, helping Fengli greet people, Xiang Cheng said. There were tens of thousands of Yaoguai sitting in the gym, cheering and preparing to watch literary and acrobatic performances. Zhi Ziaduo and Xiang Cheng would also offer sacrifices to the heavens together later. The Sacred Land had sent the 4 Yao Kings as representatives, with each type of Yaoguai sitting in a separate area. Zhi Ziaduo was wearing a strange robe and was very nervous backstage. Fengli hurriedly came over, first giving him a salute, before helping Zhi Ziaduo tidy up his robe. Xiang Cheng had his hands behind his back and looked out at the distant sky. Have they all come? Xiang Cheng asked. They all came, replied Fengli. The Kun Lord, the Corpse Ghost King, Fengli, and a newly elected Eagle King from the Winged Clan, all followed behind Xiang Cheng. Thank you to all human allies and the Yao brothers who took the time to attend today's ceremony, said Huang Shan's voice on stage. The chimes rang, vast and magnificent. Zhi Xiaoduo was first thunderstruck, before he was then startled. The stage was full of colorful art, and a mirage yao emitted a magnificent mist, forming a virtual shadow of the Great Wall. The ceremony commences. The audience applauded wildly, and everyone stood up. Xiang Cheng was dressed in a royal robe, and Zhi Xiaoduo was dressed in a dark green prince's uniform. Following Xiang Cheng, the four Yao kings roared at the same time, causing vibrations in the gym. Xiang Cheng washed his hands and lit incense in front of the totem, surrounded by the mirage. Various Yao Gui cries came from below the stage, and many female Yao screamed in admiration. Next was Xiang Cheng giving his address, and he replaced Mara and became the new king of the Yao clans. Chen Zhen finally let go of the heavy burden in his heart and sent the cell phone video back to the Exorcist committee for Zhou Mokuo to watch. Zhi Xiaoduo hadn't slept well last night, and after lighting the incense today, he had to stand there for more than an hour to accept the respects paid by Yao Gui as they came. As soon as he arrived backstage, Xiang Cheng picked up Zhi Xiaoduo horizontally and went in to change clothes. "Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up," Zhi Xiaoduo said. "Hurry up and help Qi Wei propose." Xiang Cheng hurriedly changed his robe backstage, holding Zhi Xiaoduo in his arms amidst his hurry. He lingered in the changing room for a while, and the voice of the Eagle King outside said, "Great King, the lion dance lineup is ready for you." "Almost out," Xiang Cheng said. Zhi Xiaoduo and Xiang Cheng stripped off all their clothes and hugged each other in the changing room. Xiang Cheng kissed Zhi Xiaoduo, and Zhi Xiaoduo was pushed against the mirror, panting and ejaculating into Xiang Cheng's hand. "When we head back, we'll continue," Xiang Cheng said. Zhi Xiaoduo said, "Get dressed quickly. Stop making trouble." The two of them finished changing their clothes, and Zhi Xiaoduo put on a tiger hat. Xiang Cheng wrapped himself in a deep red martial robe, tied his belt, and quickly walked out. He was as graceful and elegant as jade trees in the wind, both lofty and proud. Qi Wei was waiting at the back door, while Lang Dog was carrying a bag full of firecrackers and walking ahead. Chen Lang and Chen Zhen had also come. Chen Zhen had changed into a red suit and threw the lion ball to Zhi Xiaoduo. "You're coming too?" Zhi Xiaoduo asked. "I'll switch with you." Chen Zhen replied, "When I get tired, we'll swap." Kita and Xiao Bin had both changed into completely red outfits. Qi Wei was stunned and said, "You guys. Get started now." Kita said, "Don't chatter away." Xiang Cheng asked, "Is the ring ready?" "Ready." Zhi Xiaoduo replied. The venue was only 2 blocks away from Hanro's kindergarten, and Zhi Xiaoduo had specially calculated this. Therefore, Qi Wei raised the first lion head, Xiao Bin went behind him, Xiang Cheng raised the second lion head, and was followed by Kita. Zhi Xiaoduo lifted the lion ball, while Lang Dog carried firecrackers and lit them up. With a deafening crash, the two Yaogwai yelled and beat things, the drums and gongs clanging up to the skies. The lion dance proposal team set off. Dong, dong, chiang. Bang, bang, bang. Zhi Xiaoduo led the honor guard across the road, followed by 2 big lions, fighting for the ball. The scene was awe-inspiring, all the cars on the road stopped, and they were immediately surrounded by a sea of people. This was the first time Chen Lang had ever seen this scene, and he couldn't help applauding and gesturing to Zhi Xiaoduo. "You can even do the lion dance." Zhi Xiaoduo threw the lion ball into the air and made a gesture to Chen Lang amidst his bustle, "I'm just messing around." Chen Zhen explained to Chen Lang, "He's messing around." Xiang Cheng and Qi Wei each stepped on the shoulders of Kita and Xiao Bin, pounced forward, followed by the back dancers. They flew a few steps in the air, and landed on the opposite side of the road. Zhi Xiaoduo quickly caught up, caught the lion ball, drew it across his back, and used a bamboo pole to pick it up and spin it. Two lions jumped onto the sidewalk railing next to the road, and immediately the audience broke out in tumultuous applause. Dong, dong, chiang, dong, dong, chiang, the Yaoguai worked hard to blow the horns and beat the gongs. Chen Zhen collected a large stack of red envelopes to the side, knocked on door after door, and came to the front of the kindergarten. The kindergarten had exploded with people, and everyone ran to the iron gate to take a look. Qi Wei held up the lion's head and kept shaking it non-stop. The principal opened the door himself, and two lions entered the playground in front of the kindergarten. Lang Dog changed the firecrackers into large sparklers that emitted brilliant sparks. End chapter. Post-training notice. National First Class Registered Exorcist. Extra chapter. The Dragon of the Tides, Part 3. Dong Dong Clang, Clang Clang. Zhi Ziaduo was already running out of strength, so he threw the lion ball to Chen Zhen. Chen Zhen propped it up, and with his index finger against the lion ball, he spun it around. The people around him cheered loudly. The red lion took 3 steps forward, jumped up the steps, and circled around Hanro. The yellow lion waggled its head, shaking its body at the foot of the steps, and then both lions jumped at the same time. Xiang Cheng and Qi Wei each jumped up, and landed steadily on Kita's and Xiaobin's shoulders. The audience let out a shout of surprise and applauded vigorously. The yellow lion's head stuck itself in front of Hanro, and a smiling Qi Wei appeared from within the lion's mouth. Hanro exclaimed in surprise and burst into laughter. Chen Zhen threw the lion ball to Hanro, who, while confused, caught it. Immediately after, she was picked up by the yellow lion, and the lion ball swung into the sky and landed on top of the lion's head, balancing there. There was another round of cheers, and Zhi Ziaduo and Lang Dog were busy setting off firecrackers. The sound of drums and gongs stopped for a moment. The lion's head and body were taken off, and 4 handsome men appeared. They bowed to the audience, and waves of applause washed over them. Xiang Chang, Xiaobin, and Kita were all dressed in slim red martial outfits. As they stood behind Hanro, Qi Wei took out the ring and knelt on one knee in front of Hanro. "Marry me, ba," Qi Wei said with a smile. There was a loud bang, everyone was stunned. Hanro was extremely surprised and couldn't say a word for a while. "Say yes. Say yes." The bystanders, who didn't know what was going on, shouted. Together, Zhi Ziaduo and Lang Dog pulled the firecrackers, and Lang Dog squatted on the ground, holding some incense in his hand and extending his hand out far to reach the wick. Zhi Ziaduo covered Lang Dog's ears from behind him, and the two were prepared to light the firecrackers as soon as Hanro took the ring. After 3 seconds of silence, Hanro's face turned red, and she looked as if she was about to cry. Qi Wei looked up expectantly at Hanro. Hanro, with tears in her eyes, reached out to take the ring, and everyone held their breath. Immediately after, there was an ah-dash sound from the crowd. Lang Dog's hand shook, and he lit the firecrackers. The firecrackers went off with a blast, and red paper scraps flew all over the sky. Just as Zhi Ziaduo was about to cheer, he noticed a small commotion in the crowd. "Wake up!" Qi Wei said anxiously. Hanro had fainted. The firecrackers crackled all the way, and Zhi Ziaduo had not yet returned to his senses when he saw Qi Wei holding Hanro. Xiang Chang, Xiaobin, and Kita cleared the crowd and ran out. Qi Wei carried Hanro into the car and drove away. "Lang Dog!" Zhi Ziaduo chased them out, and Xiang Cheng gestured at him to be calm. In less than a moment, the crowd had dispersed completely, leaving nothing behind but a patch of firecrackers. Lang Dog was dumbfounded. "What's wrong with her?" Lang Dog asked Zhi Ziaduo. I don't know." Zhi Ziaduo was also a bit confused, meeting Lang Dog's gaze for a moment. Everyone began to talk passionately about this proposal, and the children were looking out of the iron gate, unsure about what had happened to teacher Han. Chen Lang rested his hands on Chi Xiaoduo's shoulders and tiptoed to look around. A taxi stopped at the roadside, the door opened, and Xian Hezi rolled down the car window. He shouted to Chi Xiaoduo, "Are there any yaoguai? Do you have any change?" Chi Xiaoduo, "I have 100, but the driver said he doesn't have any money to make change." "I'll find some for you," the driver said. "No need, no need." Xian Hezi smiled and said, "Xiaoduo." Xi Xiaoduo expressionlessly paid the fare for Xian Hezi, and Xian Hezi said, "Isn't Qi Wei proposing? Where are they?" Chi Xiaoduo, "It's all over now. You came so late." "Where's Wan Yuan?" "Wan Yuan can't come," Xian Hezi said. "She has a blind date. She wants me to press Chen Zhen about her purse." "Hello," a voice suddenly rang out from behind them. Xi Xiaoduo and Xian Hezi turned around, only to see a dark-skinned middle-aged man wearing a yellow shirt, grey trousers, and sandals, carrying a briefcase under his arm. "Excuse me," the man took out a piece of paper and showed it to Chi Xiaoduo, saying, "How can I get to this place?" "Give me 100, and I'll take you there," Xian Hezi said. "Stop messing around." Xi Xiaoduo took the map and found that it was a line of strange English words, but it seemed that they were just transliterated place names, just like the place names in Thailand. "I don't know," Xi Xiaoduo said. "Ask someone else, ba." "Turn left 100 meters ahead," Xian Hezi said. "After passing the intersection, turn right, and that's a shopping district." The middle-aged man nodded. "Xian Hezi, there is a China Mobile on the left side when you go down the shopping district. You can buy a prepaid phone, add a 2G data package, then download Baidu Maps, and use the GPS to find your way." Chi Xiaoduo. The middle-aged man put away the map and nodded to thank them. "Were red envelopes given out?" Xian Hezi continued to ask Chi Xiaoduo, "Aren't red envelopes supposed to be given out after a successful proposal?" "Hey, don't go up." Chi Xiaoduo. "Xiao Lang. Did you receive a red envelope? Give me one ba." Asterisk asterisk asterisk. That night, in the hospital. When Chi Xiaoduo, Chen Lang, and Xian Hezi arrived, the hospital was a mess. Han Ro was in the patient ward and her parents had come. Qi Wei, Chen Zhen, and Xiang Chen were standing outside on the terrace, smoking. Who knew where Chao Bin had gone, and Kita and Fengli were talking. There they are. Fengli had Kita go and notify Xiang Chen and the others, and hurriedly walked over himself, bowing and saluting Chi Xiaoduo. "What's the matter?" Xi Xiaoduo said, "Isn't it just that she was so nervous that she fainted?" "The matter is not so simple," Fengli said. "It's a bit troublesome." Qi Wei, Xiang Chen, and Chen Zhen pushed the door open and entered. Qi Wei's eyebrows were furrowed, as if he had encountered a difficult matter. Xi Xiaoduo asked, "Shall I go and take a look? Will you be able to see something?" Qi Wei asked. "I'll do my best," Xi Xiaoduo replied. "I already no longer have the dragon pupil." When Xi Xiaoduo saw this scene, he knew that Han Ro might have messed with something that she shouldn't have been messed with, and it most likely had something to do with Qi Wei. Xi Xiaoduo gestured at Chen Lang to come along, and Xiang Chen pushed the door open for the two of them. Han Ro was unconscious and lay in the hospital bed, accompanied by a couple in their 50s. Xi Xiaoduo thought to himself that they were probably her parents. "And who are you guys?" Mr. Han stood up and said. "Doctors that have been specially requested," Xiang Chen replied casually. "Leave, leave." Mr. Han said impatiently, "What exactly do you guys want to do?" "These are our hospital consultants." A doctor in a white coat pushed the door, came in, and said, "They're here to consult about your daughter." Mr. Han had to accept it, and the doctor withdrew from the room and transformed back into Fengli. Han Ro had an 4 attached to her, and Xi Xiaoduo grabbed her other hand and checked her pulse. Although Xi Xiaoduo did not have the dragon pupil anymore, he still had the knowledge of a Yao subduing engineer and had learned a lot about souls from Zheng Qin. Everyone was at a loss and clearly did not know what had happened to Han Ro. At such a time, it was obviously most suitable for Zhi Ziaduo and Chen Lang to come and take a look. Chen Lang carefully studied Han Ro's nails, while Zhi Ziaduo undid her collar and looked at her collarbone. What does a sudden coma signify? Zhi Ziaduo gestured to Chen Lang. Chen Lang shook his head and looked puzzled. Did you see her expression before she fell unconscious? Zhi Ziaduo waved his hand, picked up the patient history form sandwiched in front of the bed, took a look, handed it to Chen Lang, and gestured. Her pulse and heartbeat are normal. Chen Lang, can it be hypnosis? Zhi Ziaduo, perhaps. Besides hypnosis, there is another possibility, her soul. Chen Lang, has her soul been called away? Zhi Ziaduo did not answer. It was very difficult to extract a person's soul. He had had the experience of his soul being detached before. When the Luohun bell caused his and Xiang Cheng's souls to detach, his body fell into a deep sleep, and it didn't wake up until his soul returned. Someone knocked at the door outside, and Qi Wei came in and glanced at them. Zhi Ziaduo and Chen Lang left. Just as everyone was about to talk, Mr. Han came out. Qi Wei, I want to talk to you, Mr. Han said. Qi Wei was called away by Mr. Han, and everyone left spoke quietly amongst themselves. Zhi Ziaduo asked, where is Chao Bin? He's gone back to Beijing, Chen Zhen replied. Some matters came up that he needs to attend to. The office cannot be left empty. Chen Zhen handed Zhi Ziaduo a red envelope and said, Chao Bin gave that to you. Xian Hezi said, was that Qi Wei's father-in-law? So was the proposal successful or not? Kita impatiently said, don't worry about your red envelope. You just went through a round of scolding. Xian Hezi. Why? Zhi Ziaduo asked. He said we are thugs, Xiang Cheng said. He's been questioning our identities this whole time, and with so many people suddenly appearing, her father doesn't trust Qi Wei. Zhi Ziaduo didn't know whether to cry or laugh. Xiang Cheng, Qi Wei, Kita, and Chen Zhen were still dressed in tight, bright red martial uniforms, and leaving them in the hospital really would be attracting the attention of everyone around. After discussing things with Mr. Han, Qi Wei returned with a gloomy expression on his face. Xiang Cheng signaled for everyone to head back and then talk. So with that, the special action team who hadn't met up for most of the year were now once again gathered at Xiang Cheng's house. That night, everyone sat at a table drinking beer and chatting, with Qi Wei's ring on the table. Qi Wei was unexpectedly silent and didn't say anything. Zhi Ziaduo and Chen Lang were playing with Lang Dog. Lang Dog transformed back into a dog, first lying on Zhi Ziaduo, and then on Chen Lang. Can't you guys play some normal games? Kita said, it's too evil, but it's easy to make people fantasize about what they shouldn't. So, Zhi Ziaduo had to come over and sit with Chen Lang and Lang Dog. Zhi Ziaduo spread out the chessboard, and Lang Dog grabbed the dice with his furry claws and threw it into a bowl, playing airplane chess with them. I'll make a trip back home right away, Qi Wei said. No rush, Xiang Cheng said. Are you sure your uncles did it? Who else could it be besides them? Qi Wei replied. Chen Zhen casually said, you're not enough for them to play around with, Qi Wei. Qi Wei stopped talking. If I were your uncles, Chen Zhen said, would I be waiting for you to come knocking at my door so that you can ask me to bring that person back to life? Sure, I can do that, just to get rid of the idea of you and her marrying, or else I won't undo the curse. Qi Wei sighed and played with the wedding ring. Can't you take a step back? Xiang Cheng said, do you have to confront them? Qi Wei said, I promised teacher De Shuman to take over the local exorcist committee. After the integration is complete, I will hand it over to the Qi family. I have already conceded to this point, what else do you want me to do? Everyone stopped talking. The wedding ring in Qi Wei's hand twirled and spun over to Xiang Cheng. Xiang Cheng flicked it casually and flipped it to Chen Zhen. Chen Zhen's index and middle fingers played with it a few times before he shot it over to Kita. "How much is this ring?" Xian Hezi asked. "Kita, what are you doing?" Xian Hezi said, "Let me see ba." Kita threw the ring into the bowl where Zhi Xiaoduo was playing flying chess, and it whirled around with a clang. Zhi Xiaoduo saw the fiery sparkle in the diamond, like a dragon spinning around. Suddenly, he remembered something and asked, "Are there any other heirs in your family besides you? I mean, someone who can summon the power of dragons?" "No," Qi Wei replied, "that's why they are forcing me so hard." Chen Zhen replied, "With great power comes great responsibility. If you don't inherit the position in the Qi family, who else can you give the power of summoning dragons to? Is this something I can choose?" Qi Wei asked in response, "Has fate given me room for that choice?" "Yes, people like Xiang Xiang are very brave and great, and I admire him. But I can't do things like him. I'm the one who can't let go," Xiang Cheng said. "If I had to do it again, I wouldn't do it like this. Xiaoduo said that he wanted me to be a great hero who saved the world, but now when I look back, I can't help but fear that if I had taken one wrong step, I would have never been able to take it back again." Zhi Xiaoduo was a bit surprised. After glancing at Xiang Cheng, Chen Zhen casually said, "Fortunately, we all got through everything. It can be seen that there is a divine will in the midst of the murky darkness." Zhi Xiaoduo threw the ring back to Qi Wei, who picked it up and absent-mindedly tapped it on the table. "You are now in charge of the Yao clans," Qi Wei said. "There's no need to kill Yao anymore, so whether we can summon dragons or not doesn't have much use. Besides, I'm not trying to let this spell go extinct. I just want to be my free self again. If we take the 30,000-foot view, what is the significance of making something last for eternity? The Gagantorura family and the Zhou family's gray wolf and white deer, don't they hope to inherit it in order to unite? At best, the dragon summoning technique of the Qi family is just a drop in the ocean. There are no things that last for all eternity, nor is there anything that is indestructible." Everyone was quiet. "Can you lend me the ring to look at?" Xian Hezi said, "I want to buy one for my girlfriend, too." Everyone. "You have a girlfriend?" Xiang Cheng seemed to have heard some incredible news. "I can have one in the future," Xian Hezi said. "When I become a deputy director, why would I be afraid that no girl would like me?" Zhi Xiaoduo put a hand over his forehead, completely speechless. He only thought of a key point that he couldn't explain clearly, but he didn't expect to elicit such a big speech from Qi Wei. "What I mean is," Zhi Xiaoduo thought for a moment and explained, "what if your uncles aren't behind this?" "That's impossible," Qi Wei said. "I know their methods. Do you have any soul-separating spells at home?" Zhi Xiaoduo asked. Qi Wei furrowed his brow slightly and stopped speaking. "Could be a magic weapon," Kita said. "The soul separation spell looks very ordinary," Zhi Xiaoduo said. "But you guys don't really understand it? This spell touches on many mysteries, and if anyone could have cast it, Xiang Cheng's original snake Han wouldn't have been so troublesome to deal with." Chen Zhen, Kita, Xian Hezi, Qi Wei, and Xiang Cheng were all exorcists, but they were only familiar with their own fields. The Exorcist Committee's research on souls was not thorough to begin with, and for soul separation spells, only Zhi Xiaoduo probably knew the principles behind them. "The Luohun Bell can achieve this effect," Chen Zhen said. "But only the Luohun Bell can do this," Zhi Xiaoduo said, "which is why the Luohun Bell is one of the forbidden artifacts, and considered very dangerous, right?" Qi Wei said, "I haven't studied this area before, so I don't know." "Your family profession is Feng Shui, isn't it?" Zhi Xiaoduo asked in response. Qi Wei nodded. Zhi Xiaoduo then said, "Then that's right. The dragon spell you used is ultimately a type of Feng Shui, which uses the earth's veins and feng shui to summon fired xiao. The Qi family has never been good at it in the realm of souls. No family is good at it, Chen Zhen replied. Zhi Xiaoduo said, Xiao Lang and I speculated that it must be some mysterious expert who made Hanro fall asleep. Without any preparations, without any worries. Kita sang along. You fell asleep just like this, Zhi Xiaoduo sang. Qi Wei. Zhi Xiaoduo said, so, I suspect it wasn't a spell from your family. Even if it were, your uncles and aunts don't have such great abilities, so someone must have assisted them. This kind of spell is not easy to complete, and just like my Shifu's soul separation technique, it may be a unique skill of a specific sect. As long as we check the Exorcist Committee's records over the years and compare them comprehensively, perhaps we can find some clues. Qi Wei's brow furrowed deeply. Xiang Chen, go check who Hanro has been in contact with this month. Everyone set off immediately. Qi Wei put on his coat and went out, while Chen Zhen called Xiao Bin and asked him to connect the database to Qi Xiaoduo's house. Kita went to the hospital to find Feng Li and confirm Hanro's status. End chapter.